morning and welcome to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 204. This episode is just straight March Madness college basketball. We're going to talk about the Sweet 16 and who we think is going to make it into the Elite 8. And then we're going to bring back the Tim's best bets. He's going to give you his best for this weekend. And the one last thing, Bill Self, is he out? Is he not? Says he's not out yet, but we do know one coach is out. That's Hubert Davis out at UNC. We're going to predict who's going to be the next head coach for the Tar Heels. So we got a lot to talk about. Let's get it started.
Yeah. I was going to do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Sox.
Travel been to Indiana, and did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm here for Mardi Gras.
I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes. All right.
This is going to be a long fucking day.
All right, welcome back to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 204. I got Mr. Tim Cook and Lisa Cook today, and we're just talking straight college basketball to start us off. The Sweet 16 starts on Thursday, ends on Friday. But don't worry, because then the Elite 8 starts on Saturday and wraps up on Sunday. So first off, on Thursday, we have Texas taking on Purdue, Iowa versus Nebraska, Arkansas versus Arizona, Illinois, home state, versus Houston. And then on Friday, we have St. John's versus Duke, Alabama versus Michigan, Michigan State versus UConn, and Tennessee versus Iowa State. I will say, this looks like a great Sweet 16. But what are some of the must-watch games? Give me one of them, Mr. Tim Cook.
I think Illinois and Houston. I think this is a Final Four matchup. This matchup is you got Illinois, which is the top-ranked offensive team in the nation, one of the top, against a top 10 defensive team in Houston. Somewhat, it's got to give. Somewhere, it's got to give. I mean, Illinois is the top-tier rebounding team. They average 41 rebounds a game. Houston has won by an average of 31 points a game in the two games in the tournament. Illinois beat VCU by 21. Houston relies on pressure defense. They're 13th in the nation in pressure defense to create space. I think, you know what? I'm going to take Illinois in this game. I think they can upset Houston at Houston because this is the home game. Remember, they're playing at the Toyota Center, which is 2 miles away from the campus. I think if Illinois wins, which I think they do, they're going to the Final Four.
Well, do you think this is not maybe an Underwood game? I just everything's on the writing to be an Underwood game. It's in Houston. Also, too, like maybe because we're a little bit more favoritism towards U of I, but it just kind of feels like they kind of get the shit stick every time when it comes to March Madness.
Right.
Like playing in Houston is absolutely dumb. No team should have pretty much a home game. Like
especially a 2 seed. Especially a 2 seed. Not a 1 seed, a 2 seed.
Well, maybe they thought they were going to be a 1 seed this year, and because of their, Big 12 being as competitive. No, and I do think also, too, like you're kind of reminds me of the girls' March Madness, where their opening weekends are at home, and then it leads into the, no, it's neutral sites. That's what makes it awesome. That's a bold statement, though. Lisa, you got anything about that game?
I disagree. I think this is a Houston game. I think Illinois is going to choke, and unless Illinois decides to injure players, but I think this is a Houston game.
All right, and don't give all your
you're a little sour because of beating VCU.
And don't give all your predictions. We'll go through the predictions later. But if you're taking Houston, that one's a bold one there as well. Lisa, what is your must-watch game of the Sweet 16?
I'm going for the Big Ten matchup here. I know they've probably seen it during conference, but it's different taste now. I'm going for the Iowa-Nebraska game. I think this one's going to be a really good game. A 4 seed and a 9 seed going after it here. It's just going to be the battle of, a good old hearty game. Like, I just think it's going to be a great game all around. I'm rooting for Nebraska here. But I wouldn't be upset if Iowa won either. I think either one of these teams deserve to be in it.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see whether Iowa can come off that high, right? It's good that they're not playing a day later or 2 days later, because that's hard to come off of. You get over yourself a week now, but their name has been put into the media a lot because they took down Florida. Can they bounce back with Nebraska? What'd you think, Tim?
I think this is going to be a great game. You got to remember, Iowa is 4-4 in their last 8 games before this tournament started, and 3 of the 4 losses were in overtime by less than 4 points.
Yeah.
I think Iowa right now is playing their best basketball they played all season. And that Ben McCollum, he came from, I think, Drake. He could coach. He's a good coach. He proved it against Florida. I think I like I really do, but I think overall I think Nebraska's got the more talent. So I'm leaning towards Nebraska right now.
Yeah, I will say I think this game should start with a punt, though. I've seen that all over social media. Should start with an annual punt, because when it comes to college football, that's what both of these teams do. They just punt the ball. They don't score touchdowns, things like that. I did see it, instead of a tip-off, it should be who punts the ball the farthest and things like that. All right, well, my must-watch game for this, I'm taking it to Friday. You guys pick Thursday games, which Thursday would be great, but Friday, right off the bat, St. John's versus Duke is a must-watch game. And why it is because it's just 2 powerhouses. Now, St. John's is a little bit older than my blood of when they were in the powerhouse. Duke is always there. St. John's is coming off a game-winning shot against Kansas. So you're up in that hide that we just talked about with Iowa, right? Where Duke handled TCU in the second half and looked like, number 1 seed, they're going to make a run for their championship. Well, I will say that with these matchups, they match up very well against each other. Duke wants to put a lot of pressure with getting a lot of fouls on the forwards and things like that, right? With Boozer and the other guy that just came back recently. Yeah. Well, guess what St. John's has? They have good forward. They have good centers and things like that. So that is going to be a great matchup. I do think it comes down to Boozer versus that Aquaphor.
Yeah, Zuby.
Yeah, I think it comes down to them because that's your 2 playmakers. You're going to find out who wins this game. Yeah, this one will be exciting for sure. I just, the 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. and then I think it's like 7:15 or something like that.
Right.
So you got 2 games kind of going on. But I will tell you, Thursday and Friday, you're going to miss not having 4 TVs set up. So just have that little lull, but these will be great games. What do you guys think about that game?
I think this is a great game. I think right now St. John's is playing their best basketball. They've won 21 of the last 22 games. And Duke is reeling right now. I think they're really missing that Caleb Foster, their point guard. You've got Boozer as their point guard. He's not a point guard. He hasn't played point guard hardly at all this season, except for these last 2 games. They're struggling. I mean, they barely beat Siena. It took a second half to beat TCU. St. John's is hot right now, and you had to go against the hot hand.
Yeah, I will say I do have St. John's in my bracket actually winning this game, so that's who I should root for. But Lisa, I know who you're rooting for. What do you think about this game?
Well, I definitely think this will be a great game. I think this game is happening too early. I feel like this is a good, Elite 8 Final 4 game. I feel like, they both have the talent here. So it definitely will be a tough game for both of them. Of course, I have Duke on top here, but I definitely think this is going to be a strong game. High scoring, big box outs, all that jazz.
I'll push back a little bit. I think this is a low scoring game. I think these 2 defenses are really good. I could see it in the 50s. I really could. Ooh. Maybe a 58-55 game. I don't think it's being high scoring.
Yeah, I was leaning towards the high 60s. Oh. And that's if the 3-pointers are on for teams, right? Because both teams do love to get it into their big men. But if those 3-pointers are on for either one of those teams, if they could shoot well, which that goes for any team, let's be 100% honest. That's just the basic of basketball. But these teams, with how big they have for defensemen, I don't know. And I do agree with you, Lisa. This does feel like a Final Four, but I think it's because of the name, right? The names of these teams. I don't know, and we'll see how the game, ends up, but it could go one-sided very quickly in this game because Duke is injured, where St. John's is healthy, and they got that momentum of that last-second shot against Kansas.
Yeah.
And let's stop acting like Kansas was really that good, too. For them to have a last-second shot doesn't mean that, Duke won handily. All right, those are our must-watch games. Now, that's easy to say because every one of them is a must-watch game. But these are the three we picked. But let's give our predictions of who's going to win this game. We'll start with Mr. Tim Cook on this one. Texas versus Purdue. Who wins?
I like Purdue in this one. I think Purdue right now is the hot hand. They proved it through the Big Ten tournament, and they are on fire right now. They've got it all clicking. Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, TKR. I mean, they are on fire, and I just don't think they've got enough. Who are they playing again?
Texas.
Texas. I think Texas their Cinderella run ends here. I think it's Purdue.
Really? All right,
Yeah.
Lisa, who do you think wins this game?
I feel like out of all the games that we have, this like for Thursday and Friday, this is probably the one I'm most stuck on. Like I think Purdue is a solid team, but I mean Texas is kind of sneaky in that sense. They have a terrible post who can't shoot free throws to save his life, but I do think this is going to be a good game. I do have Purdue pulling it out, but it's a close game in my mind.
Honestly, I'm going the total opposite way.
Wow.
I think the Cinderella keeps going. I don't like Purdue. I don't like them in general. Let's just say that. But I think what Texas has is resilience. Now, can they be as resilient as they were when they played into that first four? They had a little momentum going into the tournament. Can they come off of a week off and be able to do that? I think they do. I think they win this game. I don't know if they win in the Elite Eight, but I think their post that can't make free throws, which he only makes free throws when you're upstairs and we're watching the TV downstairs.
It seemed like that this weekend.
Yeah, which I think he went 4 for 4 when you were upstairs. So
Yeah, I
we
think so
told you,
too.
don't come down. We need the points. Don't come
Right.
down.
Right.
All right, we'll go to the next game. Now, Lisa, you kind of gave who you were going for on this one. Iowa versus Nebraska. Who do you think wins?
I got Nebraska on this one. I think it's going to be a good Midwestern game, but Nebraska pulling it out.
All right, Mr. Tim Cook, what do you think?
I'm leaning right now towards Nebraska. I think they've got all the momentum. Fred Hoiberg, the mayor's got them in line. I like Nebraska. I think they played out of their you-know-what last game. I like Nebraska to go to the Elite Eight.
I think this is going to be an off shooting night for Nebraska, and it's going to unfortunately be the end to them. Hey, you won some games in the tournament. You made it to the Sweet 16, which you had never done before. Great job. But there's no way you beat Florida and come out and be sloppy. I think Iowa wins this game. All right, to the third game, which this one has a lot of people a little nervous if you have Arizona, just like your Calcutta. Arkansas versus Arizona. I'm going to start this one, and I think Arizona wins this game. I do. I think this is one of those games where Arizona's going to take it to Arkansas because Arkansas's defense is up and down and up and down. Well, guess what? They got enough players on that team to play in the NBA right now. The Arizona's got a lot of talent. I think they win this game. What do you think, Mr. Tim Cook?
I'm leaning right now towards Arizona. I think they win, but because they just have too much. That Coy Pete, that Burris kid, they've got, and they even scratched the surface with the guy off of the bench, Deliosa. And he's not even went off yet.
Yeah.
You still got Bradley going. I mean, they haven't even scratched the surface yet. So, and I think they could shut down Acuff because that's pretty much what they've got. I think they can. I think they'll win.
Yeah, 5 against 1 is always better than being on the other side of that. Lisa, who do you think wins, Arkansas or Arizona?
Well, I do think that Arizona is going to be the next number 1 seed to go down.
Ooh.
But I don't think it's this game.
Ooh, okay.
I think Arizona wins this game, but I think their next game is going to be a tough one.
Wow. So you don't think any other 1 seed might go down this week or on the Sweet 16?
No.
Ooh, I don't think we match on that one then. All right. That takes us to the last game of the Thursday night, Illinois versus Houston. Mr. Tim Cook, you kind of gave who you were going for on this one, but who do you think?
I still think it's Illinois. I think Illinois, that they go as far as Wagler takes them. I think this is the game. He's got to have a breakout game, and I can see him going off. He's got to go off for them to win, and I think he does. Even with that tough defense of Houston, because they play some good defense, I think they go off. I think Illinois makes it to. I think they win the next one. I think they go to the Final Four.
Okay, you were just about to say they were going to win the national championship, didn't you?
No,
I was like that. You were getting a little too excited.
I did.
That
I
was-
got a little excited, but I
yeah.
had to reel it back in.
Yeah, I don't know. Jeez, I was so ready to pounce when he's not afford.
I know you
Okay.
were. I know
can
you
see
were.
that. All right, Lisa, who do you think wins this game?
I have Houston hands down. I got no faith in Illinois.
Yeah. I know. I will say this. Illinois kind of got into some foul trouble against VCU. And
Yeah.
I was like, and you kind of saw their demeanor kind of change a little bit. Well, I think they're going to get in foul trouble with Houston as well. But I don't think they bounce back as well as they did with VCU. I like Houston to win this game. I will tell you right now, I will always, it don't matter the sport, I will always take the team that has better defense than the other team has offense because defense travels no matter where it is. Well, so happens to be a home game for Houston. All right, that is all of Thursday's games. Okay, take a deep breath. Oh, wait, we're back on Friday. On Friday at 6 o'clock, we have St. John's versus Duke, and I'm going to answer this one first because I was kind of hinting at it. I think this is the number one seed that goes down. I think St. John's wins this game. I really want St. John's to win because my bracket says that. I also want it because I'm tired of seeing the Boozer commercials. I'm ready for them in the NBA. Like, it is what it is. Boozer, Carlos Boozer. His shirts and jerseys and all that stuff, they're getting weird now, and he's running out of them. So let's just get him out of the March Madness. But I like St. John's to win. What do you think, Mr. Tim Cook?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think St. John's. I think they've got all the momentum. Zuby is going to just tear up the middle. I think that one kid that just came back, I don't think he's fully healthy. They're missing their point guard. Duke is. I think it's St. John's. I mean, they've got all the momentum right now, and Duke has been struggling. I think it's St. John's.
Yeah, and I want to go to Lisa on this one, but I can almost assume what you're going to pick. But let's ask Lisa, what do you got for this game?
Y'all have little faith in these men, okay? Duke is winning this hands down. Don't matter if they got 5 guys, 7 guys, 10 guys. They are going to win this game.
Wow. I'll be honest with you. I don't hear many times where a woman's like, you don't have faith in these men. Because that is.
You don't hear that very often.
Yeah. All right. That takes us to the next game on Friday is Alabama versus Michigan. Mr. Tim Cook, who do you got in this game?
I think Alabama gives Michigan all they can handle. If there's a lot of ifs in this one, they got to hit the threes. If they can handle the threes, I think they give Michigan all they can handle. If they can't, it's Michigan all day long. They can't stop that Axel. They can't stop half their player. I mean, even that Mara, he's a size in there. I don't know if Alabama could even size up to him. But if they can hit the threes and bring them out, I think they've got a chance. But if they're not hitting their threes, they're done. They'll Michigan run away.
All right. Lisa, what do you got for this game?
I have Michigan winning this one.
Yeah. No, I agree. I saw the Rico and Dave Portnoy bet where Rico's going to get paid for the next 10 years, double his salary if Alabama wins. If Michigan wins, Rico has to do it with his nemesis for like a full season of a podcast. Rico, he baited you so well because I think you got excited about Alabama. I think Michigan handles this game. They're just better all the way around, right? I think this is when we talked about earlier in the stage, who has the easiest route. I think this is where we were like, well, they might have to face Alabama. I didn't think Alabama would be as good as they've played so far, but we do know Alabama throughout the whole season. I like Michigan to win this game. All right, the next game is Michigan State versus UConn. Now, Lisa, who do you have winning this game?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Big Ten here. I think Michigan State can handle UConn here. I think this will be a pretty easy matchup for them.
Really easy. Okay, Sweet 16. You don't really hear easy often. I know you napped a little bit this weekend, but that's crazy to say easy.
That part of the game. Yeah.
Mr. Tim Cook, who do you got in this game?
I like Michigan State. I mean, I think Izzo has got them playing just right. If them 2 other players do not play, this could get a run. Michigan State could run away with this. But if them other 2 players, I think it's close. But I still think Michigan State takes them.
Yeah. So in my bracket, I've predicted that region almost perfectly. Right. Yeah. I have UConn winning this game to take on St. John's if St. John's would win. Right. Now that I've watched these teams play, I'm on the Michigan State side. I agree. I think when it comes down to the coaches, Dan Hurley is awesome to watch. He's a great coach, won multiple national championships. Congrats. But you don't bet against legends. And Tom Izzo on that side, I like Tom Izzo to win and Michigan State to win. That Fears is also pretty damn good too. He had what, a 16 assist on the last game or some shit? Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yep.
Which I think we've predicted almost every Big Ten team to win. Purdue, Iowa, Nebraska's Big Ten.
Yeah.
You had Illinois. Obviously, Lisa didn't have Illinois because she hates them. And then now we had Michigan, Michigan State. That takes us to the last game. And I'll start with Lisa on this one. Tennessee versus Iowa State. Who do you have winning this game?
Tennessee.
Ooh.
I do. I have Tennessee Vols winning this one.
Do you have it because I have Iowa State going far?
No, I'm following my bracket.
Oh, okay. You had Tennessee versus Iowa State in your bracket?
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your bracket.
yeah.
Your bracket might be a little bit better than mine. All right, Mr. Tim Cook, who do you got winning this game?
You know what? I'm torn between this one because at work in the Sweet 16, I have Tennessee twice because she has two pools, and I also have Iowa State in the 68 plus the 16. So I'm torn between this. I'm going to go with Iowa State. I think they're just the better team. I know they're still missing. We're hoping that kid comes back, their second leading scorer. I don't know if he will be, but if he comes back, definitely. But I think Iowa State by this much.
So we talked about Houston's defense. Oh, man, it's so good. Iowa State has a pretty solid defense as well. Tennessee has not seen in the SEC a defense like this. And that's all we heard on the last round is Iowa State's defense, Iowa State's defense. I'm taking Iowa State to win. I do think that second leading scorer has to come back. So if he doesn't come back for the Sweet 16, they'll be lucky to get out of the Elite Eight to get into the Final Four. That's when I think they pick it up. I will also say this too. Iowa State was getting close with their game against Kentucky. And then that second half, they turned it on.
Yeah.
Made Kentucky, 19 turnovers or 20-some turnovers for Kentucky? I think that's what happens in this game as well. Iowa State wins. All right, so we gave you our predictions. We gave us must-watch, but now we got to ask Mr. Tim Cook, what do you got for your best bets?
I'm going to start with the first game, Iowa and Nebraska. Both teams won on their home court this year. Nebraska is 12-1 at neutral site games. Iowa's looking for their first Elite Eight game since 1987. Anthony, that's when I started working at, now it's Ajimoto, was Bernardi's. And that was the last time they made the Elite Eight. Since February 25th, they're 4-4 with 4 losses on an average of 4 points. 3 of them were in overtime. Ben McCollum has this Iowa team ready to go. But I think the mayor, Fred Hoiberg, will just be a little bit better. I like Nebraska on the money line. Arkansas against Arizona. Arizona's impressive. They've covered both games, and their only 2 losses are to Kansas and Texas Tech this year. But Arkansas has Darius Acuff, and he's really good. Any team that has a top 5 offense in the country, and Darius Acuff has a shot in this game against a really good Arizona defense. I'm going to take Arkansas, and I'll take the 8.5 points. I think this is a closer game than everybody thinks it is.
Yep.
St. John's and Duke. Duke has not looked good without Caleb Foster out of the lineup, and Duke nearly lost to Siena before struggling the first half to TCU. St. John's offense is a concern, but if they want to battle down front and block and play low-scoring game, it's right up St. John's alley. I like St. John's to win, but I'll still take the 6.5. They're 6.5-point dogs.
Yeah.
I will take St. John's and give me the 6.5. Michigan State and UConn. It's hard not to love the Spartans, what they've done so far. Jeremy Fears is a beast that could lead the team to a Final Four. Meanwhile, UConn is down Jalen Stewart and Silas Demery, which we don't know if those two are playing. And they failed to even cover against Furman, which they were 21-point favorites and couldn't cover that against Furman. And they had to pull away late against UCLA. I like Sparty on the money line.
Yeah, a lot of games are close on the lines. I will say, though, I do like your games of – I think every game is going to be close. I truly do. I don't think any team that's giving points right now should be confident. So you taking the opposite of that, I do like that as well. All right, well, that is all of the college basketball March Madness. But the madness doesn't stop because coaching – now, in the last podcast, if you heard Mr. Tim Cook, he was talking about Bill Self possibly stepping away and retiring. There was a lot of speculation about that. Well, he came out today and said, Nope, not true. Not only rumors. He hasn't made a decision yet. Whoa. Did you hear how I finished that?
Yeah.
How he finished that? Hasn't made a decision yet. So it sounds like there's still a possibility he's going to walk away. We'll obviously hear about that once it comes, but Hubie Davis is out at North Carolina. Honestly, it was always kind of a weird decision to go to him. I know that they've had success, but I thought they would go get a bigger name than him at that time. Who do you, Mr. Tim Cook, think is going to be the next coach in North Carolina?
I mean, this job is prestige. This would be like if they hired you at Duke. If they hired you, at North Carolina, Kansas. This is a blue blood. Kentucky.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go after some. I hope they go away for somebody that did play there because it didn't work with Hubert Davis. I heard the betting favorite right now is Todd Golden out of Florida. You know who I wouldn't mind, and he's coaching in the NBA right now.
Who's that?
Steve Kerr,
Ooh.
Golden State.
You think he gives up NBA?
Maybe he's getting tired of what goes on in there. Maybe he wants to get away from Draymond Green.
Okay.
So somebody like that, but I think it'll be somebody from the college. I don't think that, but an outside source one wouldn't mind be Steve Kerr.
Yeah. I was thinking, what about the one that's at Marquette right now?
Oh, Shaka Smart.
Yeah, what if he got another chance? He went to Texas after obviously leading VCU. What if he gets another shot at this? I think it's going to be, I see what you're saying, like the Florida and things like this. But when you look at college football, NFL coaches don't come to college football. So right. NBA coaches coming, because there's only so many NBA position or NBA coaches. I do see that very small chance. But what about a Hoiberg? Now, I know he's built Nebraska and given all that.
Right.
But what if he went there? I think there's a lot of options. But my ultimate decision is Michael Jordan's coming back as a coach. He's going to coach. He's going to coach for North Carolina. He's got his brand all over it, and he's just going to be like, I'm the face of the college. Lisa, do you have any person you're thinking of for North Carolina?
I don't know the basketball coaches that well. The only one that I can say, which I can tell you, I know he's not going to do this, is Coach K. So
right. Oh yeah.
Now that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Coach K came out of retirement to go to his arch nemesis, oh my God.
That would be pretty good.
The amount of movies that need to be made for that would be crazy. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen, honey.
I know it's not. I know.
I did hear another name, Matt Painter from Purdue.
Yeah, see, and I can see that. I can see some of these Big Ten that have built their brand, and now it's time to go get that big check, that big stage. After I said that,
even Iowa's Ben McComb, I think that's too soon.
Yeah.
He just got there at Iowa. I don't, but it would be a hell of a payday. Payday.
No, and didn't Texas just get a new coach? So you can't see him.
Yeah, Miller. Yeah.
Because that's what I'm trying to look at is who has got in but hasn't built a foundation enough to be because you're not going to see a person like Tom Izzo or something like that leave to go there. They don't care enough. They like what they've built there. But Hoiberg, after I said that one, does. Yeah. I mean, again, have I looked at any sources that said his name? Zero. Zero. But I think that's a good one for him. But. Right. All right, well, that is episode 204, where we talked only college basketball. As the NFL, we heard there's rumors that Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball. Whoop-de-doo. Anything like that, we don't care about. College football, no news there. We're getting ready for the draft. Sit down and enjoy Thursday and Friday's games. If you don't get to watch those, that's okay. Sit down and watch Saturday and Sunday's games because there's only 3 games after that, okay? We started with a Thursday and Friday craziness. There's only 3 after this weekend. So sit down and enjoy it. We will be back next week on Tuesday, where we'll be talking about the results of the games of the Sweet 16 and Elite 8, as we don't know those until those are played on Thursday and Friday. If you like what we do, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday.